Right folks, good morning, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I've just left Kirby Longsdale, Devil's Bridge at Kirby Longsdale, and I'm now heading out towards a small village called Dent. It's basically, if you look it up on Google Maps, it says it's in Cumbria. I'm not convinced it is. It certainly, it doesn't seem high enough up to me, but it's not too far, to be fair, from Devil's Bridge. Last time I went to Dent was to meet a friend of mine, Nigel, who accompanied a few others at an annual event that's, I think, organised by somebody from within the UK GSA site. And it's possibly 2018 or something like that, when I think he went and I met him there. So yeah, I don't remember the route too much. I have put it in the sat-nav, which is a bit lame considering it's not that far away, but I just thought I haven't got much time, and I just thought it'll just keep things nice and tidy, so I get there sensible time and don't start getting lost, which isn't unheard of for me. So yeah, nice and steady little ride out. It's quite cool at the moment, 13 degrees. I've set off from home about an hour and a half or so ago. Again, nice and steady, just as I said, stopped at Devil's Bridge, had a quick drink just to warm myself up, and now I'm just having a little ride through here. Some nice little villages that you go through here, if my memory serves me correctly. So yeah, it's definitely turning, is the weather. As I said, 13 degrees now. I think it was about 10 or 11 when I set off. It's not too bad. It was quite bright actually when I set off, but it's very overcast here at the moment, and I think it's undoubtedly going to start to rain at some point before I get to Dent. As long as it isn't a complete shower and a downpour, I don't mind. In fact, speaking of the rain, I can feel it on my face now. Couple of pheasants down there. Yeah, so I thought I'd better get out today. Weather forecast, by all accounts, claims that we could have a bit of snow, or certainly very heavy frost, by as early as next week. And I've been meaning to get out on the bike for the last few days, but not had an opportunity to do so because it's either been very, very cold, bitterly cold, or very wet. But today from home it was quite decent, so I thought, well, probably as good a day as any. Let's get out. Not quite sure how much longer I'll be able to ride for, until the weather turns, or until they start gritting all the roads. Never a big fan of grit, and I'm sure most bikers aren't. So yeah, so the plan is when I get to Dent, I suppose there isn't really a plan really. I'm just going to park up somewhere, have a little wander around the village, take some photographs, see what there is there of historical interest. Might have a look at the church ground there. I believe that there's a stone, a tombstone or something, by the entrance to the church, which is supposed to, theoretically, cover up the grave of a vampire. I'll have a look at that. I don't remember too much about it, but I vaguely remember reading it when I was there last. So I think there's some inscription on the stone, so I'll have a look at that, unless I've got it completely wrong and I'm thinking about a totally different place. But as I said, I'll have a look at that when I get there. Right, where do I go? Take a right here. Clear ahead. So yeah, like I said before, I don't remember much of this route at all. But then I've got a memory like a sieve. Right, straight on here. Little cenotaph there. So yeah, so for anybody who's not familiar with this area, there's a lot of nice little villages, oldie worldy houses, churches, etc. And some of the villages that you go through around here, always worth visiting. This looks a bit narrow and steep. This is a nice view. Just opening up onto that mountainside there, or the hillside. There's a lot of crap on the road. That'll be from all the heavy rain, no doubt, and the high winds we've had recently. So yeah, I did charge the drone up a few days ago, hoping to bring it with me. But I haven't taken it, or haven't brought it with me, sorry, on this occasion. I thought the wind would be too high. Alright, so let this car get out first. It's a solitary house up there, very large, but sort of situated all on its Todd. It's a shame it's as overcast as it is. There have been some glorious colours coming from these this bracken that's all dried out and dying off. I bet it's nice if you ride along here during the golden hour, early evening, just before sunset. A local farmer here. That's a hard life. So yeah, thanks to everybody that took the time to watch my last video from East Kirkby Airfield, the memorial there. I know it hasn't had as many views as some of the other videos I've done. I appreciate that obviously aviation and such like, it doesn't necessarily appeal to people that subscribe to my channel. But anyway, it's obviously been to the liking of a few people, and I still appreciate people watching it irrespective of whether they're aircraft buffs or not. But the few and far between. I've only done a couple of videos like that. One when I went in a helicopter ride with a mate of mine, David, and as I said, the last video that I put out. But most of my videos, as I'm sure you'll be aware from watching them or looking through some of the playlists, they're predominantly just straightforward biking videos. That's the sort of style of shots that I do, or style of videos that I do. It's an unusual carriage. It looks like they've been out shooting. Oh yes, it is. There's a shoot on. Hopefully nobody will mistake me for a pheasant or something of that description. Had to breathe in a bit there, that was a bit narrow. We are very fortunate that we've got all this on our doorstep. This must be a different way to what I came before back in 2018. I don't recognise any of this. It's obviously a very secluded little track that perhaps a lot of people don't know about, or just quite simply don't use. It's trying to rain a bit more, but hopefully it'll stay away. I don't mind a shower. Don't particularly want a downpour. I had enough of that when I went to the Goit Valley in the last few weeks. As pleasant as that trip was, it was a little bit wet. So there's an annual event run by the UKGS site to Dent. I don't think there was one last year because of COVID. But I think there was one this year, unless I'm mistaken. Maybe somebody who's au fait with something like that can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, nice little village. I think there's a couple of pubs there, which we'll see anyway, because like I say, we'll have a look around the village when I get there. So half a mile it says, and then take a right. There's a bad combination of debris on the road here, water and leaves. This is a steep decline. Right, is this Dent? It could be. So we have Dent 3/4 of a mile to the right, Ingleton 11, and then turn left towards Sedgwick and Millthrop. I'm just checking, there's a big wagon there, just making sure it wasn't coming up here. It's not, it's gone on to the left. Right, Dent Village Heritage Centre, 1/4 mile to the right. Clear left. Yeah, that wasn't too bad, yeah. So no, definitely didn't come that way before. Actually, I do now recognise it, yeah. So I did come in this way before, but I'm not sure I came down that particular track. Anyway, who cares? This is the village of Dent. And that's the field there where they have the GS annual event. Caravans, camping, car park. So see if I can just get parked up somewhere. Probably as good a place as any. I'll stick it here, I think, rather than parking on there. I can still buy a ticket. Yeah, should be alright there, it's not windy. Right. Turn that off. Turn that off. Up to an hour, £1.50. There you go. Right, so at least I've paid for a ticket, so nobody can complain about that, hopefully. Tuck that under there. Right, so we're just going to have a walk up here. So as you can see, this is just one of the narrow streets. It's a cobbled street, very narrow, and it probably has never changed since the village was formed, whichever year that was in. But yeah, let's have a quick look around here. Hi there.
Hello.
This little cottage there, cobbled cottage. I wonder if that was an old cobbler's. That's one of the two pubs that we've got here. There's Sun Inn. I might just call in there on the way back, see what we can do quickly. So what does that say? Adam Sedgwick, 1785 to 1873. So people are using that like a lucky charm, lucky dip, putting pennies in there. So we're just carrying walking down here. So it's not an enormous village. So look at this. So like this building here, Church View. Even with that inscripted in there, how quaint, isn't it? But yeah, little terraced houses like that, or cottages, tucked away just off the main street. So it's got their own little stores here. That's like the equivalent of a Co-op, or Morrison's, Dent stores. Some beers there. Dent Brewery, Ramsbottom. Dent Brewery, Golden Fleece. So this property here, I remember seeing this when I was here a few years ago. I mean, that must be hundreds of years old, without a shadow of a doubt. Well, just quickly wander down here. I mean, this is it basically, this is the village. So we've just walked through it in the space of less than 5 minutes. There's definitely not a lot here. But it's a beautiful little village. Very private, very quiet. And look at those beautiful views. Even when those hills are covered in snow, you couldn't fail to love the area that you live in. It is stunning. A lovely old church. This is nicely done. So this is the stone I mentioned. So it says it's in Old English, but it says, "Here lies the body of George Hodgson, who departed this life in the year 417 something, maybe, difficult to make that out, age 94. So rumour has it there's a chap under there, or the remains of a body under there, that was suspected to be a vampire. And then once he's been buried there, that particular square that's been cut out, there was a hole in that, and then they drove a stake through his chest to ensure that it killed him. So that's in years gone by. So this is Highlanding Farm, and this is the field that they use for the GS Forum's annual event where they're camping out, and you can bring your motorhome on here as well. Very good facilities, shower and toilet facilities there. And then there's a lady who operates all this, I think she owns it all, which is literally just on the other side of the road, and she prepares breakfast for people and so forth for a small nominal fee. But yeah, it's ideal, is it? Can't do much better than this, walking up to those views in the morning. So this is the Heritage Centre Museum. Just do a quick pan of that, and then just show you some of the features that they've got here. Some of the old farming apparatus, and some lovely examples of small tractors. That's certainly a classic. So yeah, so that's the Meadow side cafe bar, just on the main route, the main little drag going through Dent. Well worth a visit if you're in the area. So I've just called into this cafe, just going to have a nice bite to eat, just a light snack. Some sort of a lunch, which has beetroot in it. I don't really like beetroot, but we'll see what it's like. And then just have a hot chocolate with it. Yeah, it's a nice little cafe. Right, so I'm not a big fan of beetroot, but I'm going to give this beetroot wrap a try. It's vegan, and it looks quite nice, and they've assured me it's not heavily sort of flavoured with beetroot, so I'll give it a go and see what I think of it. But yeah, it certainly looks a full meal, can't complain at that. And also, beautiful hot chocolate this. Very nice hot chocolate, very creamy. Delicious. Yeah, so I've just had some lunch there at the Meadow side cafe, just on the main street going through Dent. Beautiful food, vegan option, just some like beetroot wraps. Never really liked beetroot, but that was beautiful. Very tasty, very friendly staff, very clean inside, and very attentive staff as well. So definitely be leaving a good positive review for them on TripAdvisor. Right, okay, we're going to go back towards the bike. So just walking back to the bike there, and it just dawned on me I'm walking the wrong direction. I parked up here somewhere. So, but yeah. Oh, I'm glad I came. It's just starting to spit a little bit now, but I'm sure it'll be fine. There's a lot of black clouds overhead, but I'll ride out of those, go back towards Kirby Longsdale, and then just pick up the main drag, the A65, and go back towards Skipton and home. Right, back to the bike. At least it hasn't blown over, still standing upright. Very nice machine. Right, so I'm just going to get togged up again now, get back on the bike, and then, like I say, head out the village and go back towards Kirby Longsdale. So I'll catch up with you in a minute. Right, that was the village of Dent. So I'm just going to have a steady ride now back towards Kirby Longsdale, then back towards Skipton and home. Time's knocking on 25 to 4 now, so it'll be getting dark in about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour or so. Not that I'm scared of riding in the dark, but that's when you get all idiots out sometimes. Alright. But yeah, that was a lovely spot of lunch, or late lunch. Let's give this vehicle some space, this digger, in case it decides it's going to reverse at any point. Anyway, it looks to be better weather now than it was when I arrived. It's not raining now, so that's good. So I'll see if I can recall the way I came in beforehand, not on this occasion but on a previous occasion. I've just been overtaken by a bicycle. It's a bit embarrassing. That showed him who was boss. So I think I came down there, so I'm going to go this way. Yeah, I love the smell of the countryside. They've obviously been out muck spreading at the moment. It smells lovely. I'll let this guy come through first. Yeah, this is the way I came in back in 2018, 2019. I remember this bit. So I think this just still takes me back towards Kirkby Longsdale, but just a different route. Back towards Sedgwick, if that's how you pronounce it, 4 and a bit miles. And then from there, you obviously just go towards Kirkby Longsdale. So folks, yeah, a bit of a shorter video and a little bit different. Certainly haven't travelled as far to come here to show you all this area, but still a beautiful part of the UK, and in particular obviously North Yorkshire on my doorstep. So I'm not sure how many more rides I'll be able to get in before the weather turns foul. As many as I can. I'm going to do my utmost to keep riding for you all, and for myself obviously, because I enjoy getting out on the bike. Keep riding for as long as I can while the weather holds out. I might even be able to, I mean it's Friday today, I might even be able to get out again this weekend, perhaps on the Sunday. I'll have to see what the weather turns out like. Let's watch out for this cyclist. Very courteous. They're obviously switched on, saw me come in, decided to wait. It's a shame more people don't do that. I think riding on an evening like this, early evening, even though it's only 3:45, it offers different experiences for you when you're out on a bike. Another switched on local. Yeah, it's just different riding at this time of day. Everything's slightly different. People you see on the road, volume of traffic, the light obviously, the smells. I've no idea where I'm going. I'm just following this route and hopefully it'll take me back towards Kirby Longsdale. So this is the village of Sedgwick. So I could have taken a left back there, but this route, it just feeds through here and then you rejoin the main road further down. "11 miles to Kirby Longsdale." Oops, still 30 limit, slow down. Oh, we have a nice little sunset appearing over there, right in front of me. Be interesting to see how that comes out on the camera. So I take a left here. B6256. I'm going to chase that sunset. See if I can get closer to it, clear of these trees before it disappears. There we go. That view's opened up now. Hopefully that sunset there is coming out reasonably well on the video. Don't do it. So there's a car they're going to overtake. He may have just done that in time. You've no dramas doing it on a motorbike. Before he even knew what was happening, I'd have been past him. The beauty of a powerful bike. See an opportunity, assess it, execute it. You can't be far off Kirby Longsdale now, Devil's Bridge. Thank you.
Right folks, I think we're going to be coming up towards the junction
from Devil's Bridge onto the A65, where I turn left to go back towards Skipton. So if you're still watching the video at this point, thank you very much indeed for doing that. I appreciate your support of my YouTube channel. For those who've gone above and beyond and contributed towards me being able to do these videos for you all by using the PayPal link, which I'll put on the screen now, and it'll also be down in the description below. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. If you haven't subscribed and you like the type of videos that I do, etc., please do subscribe, click the notification bell, and you'll be notified automatically each time I put a new video out. Thanks very much for watching once again. Take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Ta-ra for now.